And I think we're live. Hang on a sec. It's not yet finished. Got it. Okay. All right. I think we're live na, Mother Dearest. Okay. Okay. Hello everybody and welcome to our weekly scheduled lecture with our lovely friends from Elite Intellect 9.0. Today is going to be again hosted by our love Mother Dearest, a dear friend of mine who is half something later. He will announce what he is later. Yeah. So I'm going to leave the floor to you. Okay. Hope everybody learns from this wonderful lecture today.
Thank you so much, Sir Manuel. You know what, really, guys, I do miss your Sir Manuel on weekdays, no? Because we tend to catch up with one another every time that we are live at IFNG. So yeah, for those of you at the what do you call this, the backstage at Zoom, you're going to see us making baliwan all the time, you know. Okay.
Don't worry.
Diba?
Don't worry. Invite ko kila ulit for my podcast again if you don't mind.
Oh
Right?
yes, go ahead, anak,
When
go.
I'm not busy. Because this week is
Oh,
a bit busy.
yes.
All
Yes, you
right.
can join Sir Manuel on his podcast. If it's not busy, yeah, there are a lot of cool topics that you may actually use on your IELTS examination that he talks about. Last time we talked about love life. It was February
Yeah.
14.
Yeah. Yes. All right. So anyway, all to you.
Thank you so much, Sir Manuel. Okay, so let me just post this one at the Facebook page of Elite Intellect, guys. Okay, so for those of you here at Zoom and on Facebook, guys, if you're going to be describing your IELTS speaking preparation so far, how would you describe it in one word? Okay, come on. I want to see those answers right there. How would you describe your IELTS speaking preparation if you're going to be describing it in one word? Okay. All right. So from Dell, challenging. From Don Malto, ready. Oh, that's actually really good. Okay. What else, guys? Come on. All right. I want to see your. I want to see how would you describe your IELTS speaking preparation so far. Okay. Horrendous. Sabi ni Sir Manuel. Hoy, di ka kasali, pasado ka na. Okay. All right. What about those on Facebook? Okay, let's see. Let's see on Facebook, guys. Okay. All right. So from Ellie Me, challenging. Okay, there you go. Yeah, it's actually plodding. From Joe, daunting. There we go. Okay. PM lang pala yun sa'yo. All right. Okay, yeah, it's actually quite normal, guys, for you to feel this way on the speaking examination. As I always tell you guys, this is one of the most nerve-wracking tests on the IELTS examination. But the good news about this one is, even if it's daunting, right? Or even if it is a little bit challenging, right? It is highly doable. Okay, that's one thing that you would need to remember when it comes to this one. Okay, all right. From Dior Lopez, haunting. Oh, I love your name, Dior. Dior, anak, I love your name. Diba? Okay, apprehensive from Joe. Oh, don't be anak. Okay, haunting, fluctuating from Hayal. Okay, there we go. And palpitating, sabi ni CJ. Anak, huwag masyadong magkape para hindi ka mag-palpitate. All right. Okay, from Andrea Bianca Santos on Facebook, nerve-wracking. Okay, from Carla Lopez, unsure. There we go. Oh, guys, by the way, for those of you on Facebook, please tag your friends at our live discussion here at on Facebook, guys. Okay, so you may actually share the link of our live video here at IFNG to your friends because there will be a lot of learnings later on, okay, when it comes to the speaking follow-up and the speaking part 3, which are the most dreaded parts of the speaking exam. I know a lot of students who can actually do the speaking part 1 easily and the part 2, sorry guys, my throat, I swallowed a lot of things in the dark that I'm not proud of. Okay. So there are some students who are not, who can do the task 2 easily. Whereas when it comes to the follow-up round and the task 3, guys, it's a completely different story. That's why, as I always tell you guys, please reserve your energy. Okay. Especially for the follow-up round and the part 3 of the speaking examination. All righty. So, all right, let me just check your messages before we begin. Okay, exciting from Cheer. Okay, from Ida, dynamic. Okay, all right. Update: we have 117 viewers on Facebook and 74 viewers at Zoom. Okay, guys. So let me just share my PowerPoint with you. For this evening. Oh, I hope I was able to open it. Hindi pala nakabukas. Kaya mo pala hirap na hirap akong hanapin. Okay. Alrighty. PowerPoint, PowerPoint, PowerPoint. Okay, guys. So let me share this one. Okay. Oh, we have a message on Facebook. Thank you so much for this. I am new here and you're definitely helping a lot of people who are about to take the IELTS. More power. Oh, thank you so much, Fiona, my love. You know, IFNG or IELTS Filipino Nurses Group always aims, okay, to help the students on their IELTS preparation. So yeah, the IFNG admin, thanks you so much, guys, for being here. And of course, we at Elite Intellect, thank you for watching our live video. Okay. Hi, Mama D. Another day off. Learning with fun. Ano yun? May rumolyo. Narinig nyo? Okay. Hi, Mama D. Another day of learning with fun, watching from Riyadh. Okay, guys. So, welcome. Hopeful and optimistic from Angela. Oh, that's good enough. Okay, so welcome to another fun and informative discussion here at IFNG, with which we're going to be talking about the techniques, okay? The techniques for the speaking follow-up round and the task 3. Last week, guys, we were able to discuss about the part 1 and the part 2 of the speaking examination. And this week, we'll be focusing on the follow-up round as well as, of course, on the part 3, the most daunting parts of the examination. But don't you worry, because Mala is here, guys. Don't forget to remember our official hashtag for tonight. You may type it there at the comment section on Facebook. Hashtag Mama D Cares. Alagang ina, kwentong ina, turong ina, matuto ka, ina ka. Okay, guys. So let's now start. Okay, so for those of you guys who just joined us, I am pleased to meet you. My name is Clint Joseph Tyler, the founder and master lecturer of Elite Intellect, IELTS, OET, and NCLEX, and an MCCBT specialist, PH. I am an IELTS expert for the past 12 years, also known as your Mama Dragon, Mother Dragon, Mama D, Mother D, Mommy D. Lahat ng uri ng D, kung gusto mo, sige lang, go. Half Filipino, half science. Oh, girl, why did you say that? Oh, you don't want to see me before science and technology. Believe me, for my classmates in high school, elementary, and in college, oh, they saw me before science. Filipino half science. Ginawa ng siyensya, di ba? Sa susunod, ano na yan? Half Filipino, half implants. Wait, excuse me. Let's not talk about that. I am all natural. Okay? Natural grade silicone. Bet nyo yun. Natural grade silicone. Okay, so before we start with our discussion for this evening, okay, let me share to you a secret, okay? All right, so do not feel pressured, okay? Do not feel pressured, okay, on the examination, in life, or whatever it is. He has made everything beautiful in his time. Diba? This is from the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 11. Every time that you feel pressured, you have to remember the Lord has designed it perfectly on his own time, okay? And once he has given it to you, believe me, that could be the most momentous thing that you would ever experience in your life. So let's go, okay? Just have faith, okay? From Andrea Bianca Santos, your jolly personality is so contagious, Sir Clint. Thank you so much, Andrea, my love. Ako ba? Bakit nga ba ang taas na naman ang energy ko today? I don't know what's happening with me. I think it's the coffee, guys. It's the coffee that I have had. Okay? Masyado yatang matapang. Oo, parang feeling ko ano yun, kaping barako with katas ng fairy essentials. Kaya ganito na naman kataas yung energy ko. Okay, so yeah. Guys, don't feel any pressure, okay? You always have to trust the timing of the Lord, okay? All right, and if it's for you, it's for you in Jesus' name. Okay, guys, so let's begin with your discussion. Let us start now using our elite notes. Bakit ba listening lecture yung nakalagay dito? Okay, so the speaking lecture, not the listening lecture, guys, okay? So let me just share to you my screen as regards the notes. Okay, from Carla Lopez, hoping to learn techniques for my exam on March 26th. Okay, don't you worry, my love, okay? I'm going to do my best to teach you guys the techniques that I know when it comes to the follow-up and the speaking part 3. Okay, guys, so let's begin. All right, so by the way, guys, for those of you who would want to have a copy of our elite notes for tonight, this one that we're using, okay, on our discussion. Okay, 2 ways for you to get the copy, okay? First is if you are a member of IFNG's group chat, okay, you are going to be, the admins will be sending this one to you later on after the discussion, okay? Automatically on your group chats, it will be forwarded via PDF format. For the students of Elite Intellect who are watching, I will be sending this to your group chats. Now, sir, what if it's my first time or just second time to view the live discussions here at IFNG and I'm not yet a member of the IFNG group chat for the Ielts preparation? So the only thing that you have to do is to send a message to the admins of IFNG later on after the discussion and then ask the admins for them to add you on the group chats of IFNG so that you will see the handout that we're going to be using here tonight, okay? All right, so thank you very much. Ano to? Coffee enema makes people energetic. Baliktad yung route ng kape. Andun sa ilalim, wala sa ibabaw. Parang bet ko yun. Coffee enema. May tinanong ka daw sa exam, do you like drinking coffee? Well, I do not take coffee as much by mouth. I take it by enema. Mas effective. Oh, girl. Okay, so let's talk about the IELTS speaking techniques, okay? This will be for the follow-up round and, of course, the task 3, okay? So reminders, guys, okay? Techniques are only effective when you apply them often on your practices, okay? Let me break to you the reality, mga anak, okay? If you are a person who just listens to lectures but do not practice as often, okay? When it comes to your speaking, then it's going to be a little bit difficult, okay? You would need to find dependable partners, okay, with which you can do your speaking examination with. It could either be a classmate, another IELTS test taker, the breakout room sessions, IFNG has one, Elite Talk has one, okay, as well as, of course, your coaches, diba? You would need to apply your learnings for you to practice it so that naturally the techniques will come out on the 26th, okay? Or on the 26th, on your exam day, okay? Kasi the problem with some of the students is they tend to take down notes, okay? And then they're just going to memorize things. Mga anak, the IELTS is not about memorization, okay? It's not about how good you can memorize or how well you can memorize the topics. It is about the way, okay? It is about the way that you actually apply it every single day for you to make it more natural on the test, okay? Next one. Please practice on your speaking examination, sir. Would you recommend for me to practice every day? Oh, yes. I would highly encourage you to practice every single day. If you have the time, why not go for it, okay? Practice makes perfect. I believe in that, okay? Practice makes perfect on the test and practice makes natural on the examination. So if you can practice every single day with speaking, it's not 5 hours or 6 hours that you're practicing. You can practice on the speaking for like, let's say 30 minutes to 1 hour a day. That would be good, okay? So please do it so that on the examination, hasang-hasa ka na. We would call it in Filipino, hasang-hasa ka na, as in, no? You're no longer apprehending on your answers or you're no longer afraid of your examiner because you are used to delivering on the English language. All right? Oh, ayan. Mga IFNG members, si Mama din na nagsabi ha, daily practice, sabi ni Sir Manuel. Yes, no, IFNG guys, practice. There is Sir Manuel, I believe you still have the Zoom platform, di ba? The breakout room sessions, di ba?
Yes, we do. But unfortunately, many of them just listen.
Oh, okay. So mga anak, go to the breakout room sessions of IFNG. You can go there and practice. Or if you want Elite Talk or IFNG, Elite Talk and IFNG, they both have practice. The difference is sa IFNG kasi it's 24/7, okay? If you're available, just go inside the practice or the breakout room session of IFNG and then practice speaking. There are people there who are preparing for their IELTS like yourself who are willing to practice with you. Okay? Practice makes perfect, but nobody's perfect, so why practice? Miss Ay de las Alas, tanging ina. Circa 2000. Si Ina. Si Ina, anong pangalan niya doon? Si Ina. Basta Ina, Montesilio, di ba? Siyempre. Okay. All right. So, on the exam, guys, remember to clear your head and talk, okay? The problem with the students is when they are on the speaking exam, they panic, okay? They panic and then a lot of thoughts come inside their head to the point that they find it difficult to filter those thoughts, no? That you can no longer come up with the best response because there are too many ideas in your head, plus you're nervous, okay? So if that happens on your speaking examination, believe me, my love, you are going to be working yourself into a froth or a bubble, di ba? Bula yung maiisagot mo sa exam. Okay? So one thing to do, guys, is to clear your head on the speaking examination and deliver and supplement the answers as much as you can. Okay? Next one. Sometimes it is effective to not overthink the questions, okay? This is technically accurate. Sometimes, guys, it is very much effective if you are not overthinking the questions, okay? The problem with some of the students is when they are asked the question, there are too many what ifs in their head. Like, what if itong isagot ko? What if itong piliin ko? What if common to? What if ganito? Sometimes, guys, it's better, okay, on the examination for you to just not think about it too much, okay? Come up with your best response, that's for sure, and then expand it. You need to talk about the question, okay? Let's say I answered a black cup, okay? Black cup, not a black, a black cup, okay? So I love drinking on a black cup because, okay, you would need to expand why you love drinking on the black cup, right? Or I love dried flowers per se. So I would need to talk about why I love seeing dried flowers and what are the types of dried flowers that I do love to see, like eucalyptus, lavender, kain. Wow, ano yun, sir? Kain. Kain, yeah, kain. This one, kain. Bulak. Ah, kain. Akala ko yung paggutom ka, kain ka na. Wale, Sir Joseph. Mani. Happy peanuts. Charing. Okay. Overthinkers right now. Yeah, di ba? Right now, di na nag-host yung mga members. So usually it's 11 a.m. PH time and 11 p.m. KSAOC. You have 11 a.m. PHT for IFNG breakout room sessions and 11 p.m. 11 p.m. KSA. Guys, go. Mag-practice kayo. Okay, that is for free. Okay? The breakout room sessions are for free. You may practice there. Okay? All right. So, pampagising. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Pumalakpak ba? Pumalakpak. Kasi yung mga pumalakpak daw, they will pass the exam this year in Jesus' name. Ay! Sir, isa pa! Isa pa! One more. Okay, ready? If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Di lang pang pamilya, pang sports pa. Ay, nako. Very nostalgic again. All right, guys. So, what else? Okay, apart from overthinking, okay, not overthinking the questions on the test, another thing that I would want you to do is for you to organize your thoughts and your speech on the test. Okay, some students, unfortunately, they tend to commit this mistake of not organizing their ideas, so they come up with this response. Okay, I'll give you an example response of a not organized response. Okay, here, listen carefully. I want you to see the error on this one. Well, there are a lot of things that I love doing. Like, for example, if I'm not doing anything and I'm just at home, I tend to read books. Okay, what's wrong with that statement? Again, let me repeat that. Well, there are a lot of things that I love doing. Like, for example, if I'm not doing anything and I'm just at home, I love to read books. Okay, what's wrong with that statement right there? Ano to? Nostalgic. Para akong grade 3, ibig sabihin uwian na pag kinakanta yan. O, di ba, Joe? Sa amin ako pag uwian na, nag-Angel of God, my guardian dear na kami. Di ba pag uwian na, Angel of God, my guardian dear? Okay. What's wrong with that? Okay. Hold on, guys. All right. What's wrong with that statement again? Again, uulitin ko yung statement, okay? Well, there are a lot of things that I love doing. Like, for example, if I'm not doing anything at home, I tend to read books. Okay, apart from it's redundant, there are a lot of things that I love doing. And if I'm not doing anything, okay, that's redundant. What's the next one? You only said one thing, right? Apart from that, guys, okay, apart from that, the error on that one is you said, for example, when I'm not doing anything, okay, do not say for example, do not use for example if you're explaining the thought itself, okay? Do not say that, okay? You can say, there are a lot of things that I would love, that I love doing. Selectively, reading is one of them. In as much as during my free time, I see myself perusing on books that I love. An example of a book is Paulo Coelho's work. Yung mga ganyan, di ba? Tignan nyo yun, di ba? The statement that I said there is that I stated the activity that I love doing. Okay, and then after that, I expanded it by saying in as much as, and then the example is just the book. Okay, what specific books do you love reading? Books by Paulo Coelho. Okay, so look at that, guys. When you are organizing your thoughts, you would need to have that particular flow. The best organization that I always tell my students is your direct answer first, and then explain that, and then give an example. Okay, again, your direct answer, and then explain that, and then give an example. Okay, do not explain using like for example, okay? Unfortunately, marami akong nakikitang estudyanteng ganyan, okay? You love explaining using the word for example. Don't explain using that. For example, for instance, from a distance, yung mga yan, no? All of these words are only used if you are about to supplement the idea, you're about to give an example, not to explain the ideas, okay? So be careful with that, my children. Do not explain using example cues, okay? So let's talk about the speaking follow-up round, okay? So, Sir Joseph, what is the speaking follow-up round? Basically, guys, what I would want you to remember for this is all questions asked here are directly related to the central topic of the part 2, okay? The central topic of the part 2 is directly connected to the questions here. So you should display correlation skills, meaning your capacity to relate the question to the general topic. Okay? All right. All right, update, guys. We have 200 viewers on 205 viewers on Facebook and 96 viewers at Zoom. Woo! Yes! Hello, guys! Welcome! Kumusta naman kayo? Okay lang ba kayo dyan? Baka naman hindi kayo okay. All right, so again, when we are talking about todo na to. Ano kaya, no? Kung si Rupa May yung nag-take ng exam, di ba, ng Ielts exam, tapos ganoon yung tono niya, di ba? Well, there are a lot of things that I enjoy. You know, like if I'm not doing anything, I love reading books. Woo! Okay, from Maria Santos, I am from Brazil. Thank you for your explanation. Oh, you're welcome, Maria. Okay. Diba, transform to Rupa? You're hilarious, Mom. Thank you so much, Dior, anak. Okay. All right, so let's continue, guys. Tapos, di ba? Di jiggling. Okay, so guys, when you are on the follow-up round, what I would want you to remember is all the questions asked here are directly related to the central topic of the task two, okay? You should display correlation skills. When I say correlation skills is that you should be capable of connecting your answers to the general topic of the part two. Make sure to show the relation of your answers to the task two topics, okay? All right, now I'll show you examples of the follow-up, examples of questions that they might be asking on the follow-up round. Let's say your general topic is a childhood friend, right? Okay, your child... Naalala ko kasi siya. Hi, Red! I remember, okay, for the Filipino viewers here, the movie Buba, di ba? The movie Buba. Did you remember when her grandmother is having difficulty breathing, right? And then I think the grandmother of Rufa May Quinto is dying. It was played by Gina Pareño at that time, right? And then Gina Pareño said, Buba, hindi ako makahinga. Sabi ni Rufa May, Lola, masikip yung branyo. Tapos sinulog niya yung bahay. Sabi niya, ganyan talaga ang buhay, Lola. Parang gulong, minsan nasusunog. Okay, all right, hold on. What happened to my camera? Okay. Alrighty, so make sure to show the relation of your answers to the topic on the part two, okay? So let's take a look at this one. Let's say your topic on the part two is a childhood friend, okay? You were asked about a childhood friend. Talk about your childhood friend, who that friend is, why they are memorable to you, blah, 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 for the part two. And then the follow-up questions that are related to this one might be something like this, okay? How do people choose friends, or how do you choose friends, okay? What else? What are the changes with how friends communicate nowadays? What are the modern activities of friends, right? So all of these are they fall under one category and one category only. Let me just wipe my camera. I think yung laway ko sa kakatawa ko, guys, napunta sa camera. Okay, so let's take a look at this one. Choosing friends, right? How do people choose friends nowadays? Okay, so of course people do base it on their preferences, right? When they look at the activities of the people around them, and if they share common interests, then that's the time that they start to jive with their personality because they, in as much, connect with one another. Okay, what are the changes with how friends communicate? Due to the burgeoning of technology, friends now can talk utilizing social platforms like Facebook Messenger, and it has made it more convenient for them to convey their message and their care to the people around them. What are the modern activity of friends? Well, online gaming is something that is quite ubiquitous nowadays. And a lot of friends would usually share a space on games with which they are under one team. PUBG, Mobile Legends, and the likes are the things that people love to do, especially the youngsters nowadays. Okay, so look at that, diba? Gamer, oh, diba? Yeah, these are some of the preferences of the friends. So if you're asked about a childhood friend, okay, you might be asked follow-up questions about friendship. Okay, how do people choose friends? What are the changes with how friends communicate? Okay, and modern activities of friends. Okay, now what's the next one? Let's take a look at another example here. Okay, let's say you were asked on your part two a subject that you enjoyed. Okay, what is the subject that you enjoyed when you were in high school? So that's your task two, right? The follow-up question here could be modernization of subjects, okay? Subjects which are no longer popular in an inspirational subject. So what's the general topic of this one, guys? Come on, come on. What's the general topic of the second cluster here? The general topic is hot dog. Come on, guys. What's the general topic? It is academic subjects, right? These are your general topics here for this part. Yeah, it's about subjects, okay? All right, so Modernization of subjects. Do you think that subjects nowadays are modernized? Yes. Indeed, diba? Or indeed, a lot of subjects can now be studied utilizing the internet and the computer, diba? Subjects which are no longer popular. Well, I think civics or these types of subjects are no longer as popular as before, right? Because during our time, circa 90s babies, right? Us 90s babies, 1999, hello, charing. As 90s children, we do tend to focus more on civics, right? Sir, anong civics? Sibika at kultura. Yun yung civics. Ano ba naman kayo? Yung klase natin kay Ma'am Kilang. Grabe naman maka during my time. Di ba? Civics is sibika at kultura. Di ba? So yeah, it's no longer as popular as before, because nowadays they have changed the curriculum significantly to basic skills enhancement courses and what do you call this, idea development courses, diba, in high school. All right. What is an inspirational subject? Okay, if I'm going to be asking you guys this question, what do you think is an inspirational subject? Come on, guys. Type in your answers right there. To the left, to the left, to the right, to the right. Brr. It's cold in here. Charing. There must be some taros in the atmosphere. I said, oh, E-O, E-O, ice, ice, ice. Charing. Nag-ano, no? Nag-cheer. Okay. All right. An inspirational subject is physical education, okay? Values education, good manners and right conduct, GMRC, HECAC, EDA. History, yeah, history could be inspirational too because it shows the hardship of, what do you call this, the people in the past, right? GMRC for I, dressmaking, it stimulated my brain to be creative, yes. TLE, di ba? O kaya hele, home ekananay, di ba? Yan, Christian activity. AP is araling panlipunan, okay? TLE, there you go, literature. Okay, what else? CLE, Christian living and technology. Okay, so these are inspirational subjects. So now, since you have asked economics, wow, taray naman ni EJ, economics pang mayaman. Okay, all right, so if you have studied this one, right? If you have studied this one, so if you have stated this one to the question, what is an inspirational subject? You must explain to your examiners, why did you say that? Okay? Why did you say that that is an inspirational subject? Sabi ni Clarice sa Facebook, recess. Yeah, I love recess too during that time. You know, that's the time that you go and buy Nesty and flying saucer. You know, like in our school, we buy flying saucer. Yeah, the 5 pesos one, and then we buy 7-Up, and then we put like pintura, the pintura bubble gum. Oh my God! And then it's suddenly color blue. Nung panahon namin, bumibili kami ng flying saucer. Yung tigli 5 piso. Tapos, bibili kami ng 7-Up, lalagyan ng pintura bubble gum para maging blue. Ay, sabihin nyo hindi nyo ginawa yon. You did that, di ba? O kaya lalabas kami sa tapat ng school, andun si Ate Ana, nagtitinda ng burger. Yung 10 piso. Parang autograph lang. Recess yung favorite subject, di ba? Tapos pagkatapos nun, maiiwan yung cleaners. Diba? Handa na yung bunot at saka yung walis. Tapos ikaw naman, chill ka lang. Bakit ba may cleaners? Diba? Diba, mama, di pa try nga ng Chris. Hayaan mo pag-aaralan kasi crazy, you know. Marami tayong pwedeng pag-aralan for crazy. Bimbi. Diba? May vibrato. Diba? Love na love ko yan si Madam, di ba? May vibrato siya pag nagsasalita. Bimbi! Oh, merong ganon. Okay. All right, what else? Okay. A time that you helped, okay? Let's say you were asked about a time that you helped, okay? So these are some of the questions that might be related to the time that you helped, okay? Is helping important nowadays, okay? Yes, especially given that it's the pandemic. You know, it is the pandemic. A lot of people need help, okay? A lot of people need amelioration from others too. Diba? When not to help people, when basically if it's going to be making them indolent or entitled, then of course we should not help them. First time to attend, napaka-energetic mo, Mama Di. Ano ka ba, anak? Wala pa yan. Level 1 pa lang yan. Okay, what else? Next one. Why are some people not open to help from others? Okay, not open to accept help from others. Okay, why do you think some people are not open, okay, to accept help from others? Diba? Di siya naka-attend ng backstage. Yes, sa susunod umattend kayo sa backstage. Backstage is the Zoom 15 minutes before the live on Facebook. That's what we call the backstage. Makikita nyo kung gaano kami kabaliw ng Sir Manuel ninyo. Okay. All right, guys, I want you to type your answers here. Why do you think other people do not accept help from others? Okay. All right, so ego, okay. Ayaw ng utang na loob, sir. Yeah, okay. Pride, okay. Privacy reasons. They are independent, okay. They would want to be self-sufficient and they do not want to depend on others. Okay, what else? Pride. Okay, there you go. So you should explain to your examiner, why did you say that? Okay? Well, unfortunately, a lot of people do not accept others ameliorating them because of pride. Pride is one thing that, di ba? Ayaw mamarites, di ba? Yung tutulong, uy, kumare, kumusta ka? Okay naman ako, kumare. Uy, pwede ba? Pwede bang manghiram ng kahit isang sakong bigas lang. O sige, Mare, ito isang sakong bigas, ha? Basta bayaran mo, ha? O sige, Mare. Tapos, pagtalikod nung kumare, alam mo ba, yung si Badang nanghiram sa akin ng isang sakong bigas. Okay. They may have lived independently all their lives. Yeah, that's actually true. Right? Sino pa may yung marites, di ba? Parang ano naman yan? Okay, fear of being judged. Yeah, ako admittedly as a person, sometimes I do not accept help from others because I have been independent all through my life. Diba? I mean, I was not raised in a way that I could depend on people around me. No, I was pretty much independent ever since I was younger. Growing up, actually, I started becoming independent fifth grade. Yeah, if I remember, fifth grade. Okay. Hiram lang pero isang sako, di ba? Ganun talaga kami sa barangay namin sa Bel Air. Taga Bel Air. Bel Air. Okay. So, guys, for you to relate your ideas on your answers, you can also use correlational phrases, di ba? Girl, you better work, independent woman yarn, di ba? Yes, I am an independent object, di ba? I am an independent object ever since believe me mga anak, first year high school, I already know how to wash my clothes, cook food for my own. I go to school alone. Mga ganyan. I go to Divisoria and then I buy items there. Second year high school ito. I go to Divisoria and then I buy items there and then I sell it to my classmates. Oh, diba? And there's nothing wrong with that. Being independent is something that is, something that you should be proud of. It's not something to be ashamed of. Tandaan nyo yan, mga anak. If you are self-supporting, self-sufficient, and if you are independent, there's no shame in that. Oh, diba? Okay, moving on. All right. So what are the correlational phrases that you may use on the test? Okay. So these are the correlational phrases that you may utilize for you to connect your answer to the previous idea earlier. Okay. So the first one is, as I have mentioned earlier, you can say that like what I've said before, there you go, to relate it to the idea similarly and similar to the view. Okay. This ensures that you are connecting your answer, okay, to the previous idea, which is the general topic of the part 2. So on the follow-up round, guys, you might be asked 2 to 3 questions here. Okay, it depends on your performance or it depends on your examiner. But usually, in our experience, students are not asked more than 4 questions here. Okay, because it's the follow-up round. Okay, you have to remember you still have the part 3. Okay, the recommended length of answers for this part, guys, is, okay, check this out. 30 seconds, okay? You may answer for 30 seconds or 40 seconds or even a minute, okay? Sir, how do I time myself when I'm answering? Okay, make sure that your examiner stops you. Okay, when you're answering, make sure that your examiner interrupts you. Okay, that's the best way. Okay, when you're talking, let your examiner interrupt you. Baka mamaya ikaw naman anak, okay, moving on. Ganyan na examiner mo, ikaw naman, no. I paid for this examination. You're going to listen to me. Don't do that on the test. Okay, very well said. Di ba nga, Kay, anak? Yes. Okay. All right, so sir, would you recommend for me to answer the 3 questions for 40 seconds or 1 minute? Well, it should be a combination because there are questions there with which you will be relating more to. So if you can relate to the question, you might actually answer it longer, like for a minute, right? Or if you cannot relate to the question as much, then you're just going to be answering it for 30 seconds, diba? So it should be a combination for you to have that natural flow. Sir, may I ask, are you familiar with the app Sir Clint is using to write his notes? Ah, yeah. This one is Good Notes. Okay, I'm using Good Notes 5. Diba? Good Notes 5. Itong ginagamit ko, mga anak. Okay. Alrighty. Social, diba? Ganyan. Para kunwari, nagdi-discuss pa rin tayo sa classroom. Ako yung teacher, tapos pag di ka nakikinig, babatuhin kita ng board marker. Hindi eraser yung ibinato. Hindi eraser yung binato. Board marker. Who here can relate? Diba? Sino dito ang mga nabato na ng teachers nila ng eraser, papel at board marker nung elementary o high school? Who here was able to experience that? Likely I experienced that many times in high school and in elementary because I am, diba, Giselle? Relate, mga anak. Yung chumichika ka, OR instruments, yan, nabato na rin ako niyan. Curb Kelly yung naibalibag sa akin. Diba? Kasi nga, ang hinihingi pala ng doktor, straight Kelly. Ang inabot ko, Curb Kelly. Eh, ang sabi lang naman niya, Kelly. Malay ko ba kung si Kelly Clarkson yung hinihingi niya? Di naman yung sinabi kong straight o curve. Nabato ko ng Curb Kelly. Oo. I have also experienced that, yung nakurot ka ng Curb Kelly. Sakit kaya? Na-choke, di ba? Yung chumichika kayo talking to your classmate. Tapos biglang, pak! Di ba? Tapos pagtingin mo sa harap, yung teacher mo, beast mode na sa'yo, di ba? Teres! Ay, nako. When I was in nursing, hinatak ako ng forceps. Ang ingay ko kasi. Hinatak ng CI ng forceps. Ay, naku. Guys, maglaro nga tayo. Ito ha. Sinong gusto makapaglaro sa akin? Kurutan ng tissue forceps. O kaya batuhan ng durian. Laro tayo. Sige na. I want to play, guys. Kurutan ng tissue forceps o kaya batuhan ng durian. Dodgeball. But instead of using a ball, we're going to be using a durian fruit. Right? Pag tinamaan ka nun, iyak ka. Hampasa ng diver. Ako po na scrub out. Diba? Ovum forceps. Wait lang, nakakaloka kayo. Ang sasaya nyo na naman, ha? Inom na ako tubig, mga anak. Wait. Let me just drink water because you know what they said. Drink your water. Okay, guys. So, yeah. When you are on the follow-up round, tinakulum, ang lambing naman ng mga tao. Tinakulum, carry lang. Diyos ko, wala na bang mas lalaki pa dyan? Ano to? Kurutan gamit yung nipper, di ba? Tanggalan ng ingrown yan, anak. Okay. So remember, guys, on the follow-up round, if you were asked the question just related to the idea, okay? Let's take a look at the sample answer right here. I have written this down, okay? Okay. What are the changes with the way people make friends nowadays? Okay, let's take a look at the sample answer. Technology has influenced the way people build friendship. Like what I have said earlier, communication is imperative with budding friendship. In a sense, technology made it more accessible for friends to talk. Social media platforms like Facebook Messenger paved way for people to meet others. In the future, they might still benefit from these innovations due to the burgeoning of technology. Let me just change this one. Instead of saying people again, okay, let's just say they. All right. So guys, there you go. Look at this sample question. Answer, okay? The one that I've used here is like what I have said earlier. Maybe my question on the part 2 is talking about technology or friendship with technology. So I am just going to reiterate on that and say like what I have said earlier. Okay? That's better. Okay? When you are on the follow-up round, remember to just relate your answers on the topic on the part 2. Word suture, yung bunganga mo sa sobrang ingay mo, di ba? Kurutan ng towel clip, ang haba naman nun. Vaginal speculum. Nakakaloka kayo. Okay, guys, wait. Let me just breathe. Okay, let me just catch my breath. Okay? You are beautiful. All right. So relate the ideas, okay? Okay. So let's say the examiner asked me this question, okay? Why are some people not open to help? Hello, Ma'am Gladys! Ma'am Gladys Lacanilao, our New Yorker friend, is watching on Facebook. Hi! Hello! Ayan na naman. Ma'am Gladys! Tumalbog-talbog na naman. Nakita lang si Ma'am Gladys dun sa Facebook. Okay. Diyos ko na may natin si Ma'am Gladys niyo. Alright, guys. So yeah, on the follow-up round, connect the ideas. Okay? Relate the ideas on the general topic of your part 2. Okay? Now, guys, let me teach you on how you can relate the ideas to the general topic. Okay? Alright. Halimbawa, guys, you are given this topic. Okay? A book. Okay, let's say you're given this topic on the part 2, a book that you enjoyed. Okay, so expect that the questions will still be related to books, okay? So the books could be changes with books, I saw this question before, harmful books, okay? Or books which are harmful, di ba? When I say harmful or non-productive books, sa tigas ba naman ng, ano yan, ng balot ng libro na yan, ihampas mo yan sa kanya. Talagang harmful yan. No, when we say harmful books, it's that books that are not productive at all, okay? Or does not encourage learning, okay? Or sometimes it is, what do you call this? Digital books, versus paper books. Okay, there we go. So yeah, expect that it would be highly related to the topic itself, di ba? Pocketbook, yung mga ganyan, yung mga love hearts romance. Okay, Mama Gon, umabot na sa kabilang building ang energy. Di ba nga, Ma'am Gladys? Gising na, no? Ano yung pressure, sir? Akala ko kosher and herb harmful kasi pag nabagsakan sa ulo, basta gambungo mo. O kaya yung ano, med surge, yung gaganyan. Ay, nako. Napatawa ako kasi nag-connect ako sa speaker. Bigla yung tawa sakto ni Mama ko. Nadinig ng kapitbahay. What's that? Oh, it's me, the dragon from the Philippines. Kathleen Payton, Philippines. Okay, guys. All right, so let's now move on to the part 3, okay? The part 3, I'm going to be teaching you the 2 types of the part 3. If you are not aware, guys, there are really 2 types of part 3. Okay, unfortunately, some of the students, they did not know that the part 3 has 2 types, and I will be talking about that. Okay, let's move on to the techniques for the speaking part 3. Okay. Trinidad and Tobago. Okay, oh guys, by the way, before you move on to the part 3, let me just share this one. Okay. All right, so it's back, it's back, it's back, it's back, it's backla. Okay, so guys, for those of you who have been waiting for this program of Elite Intellect 9, just real quick, okay, before you move on to your part 3, Elite Ops is back, okay? It is a review program designed to transform the beginners to advanced Ielts test takers. So Elite Ops is different, guys, from Elite Focus, because for the Elite Focus, the main theme of that review program from Elite Intellect is for students to focus on their weaknesses. Whereas here, for Elite Ops, if you are a student who you feel you are a beginner, or you're shy to speak, or you're a student who you think is not smart enough or good enough for the exam, then of course Elite Ops is for you. Okay, so sir, what is the difference between Elite Ops and Focus? For Elite Ops and Focus, both are unlimited review programs for Elite Intellect, but Elite Ops is really designed for those students who are not confident on the speaking examination. This is a program which can transform the way that you deliver on the speaking test. Okay, so sir, what are the inclusions of Elite Ops? Okay. Okay, so Elite Ops is a program. Okay, let me just stop my video for you to see. Elite Ops is a program like no other. This IELTS review program is designed for those who are beginners or weak with their English speaking skills. The goal is to make them advanced test takers, unlimited one-on-one coaching in speaking and writing. Okay, and apart from that, unlimited live and recorded discussions, flexible schedules, 1 p.m. PHT and 11 p.m. PHT, 2 regular classes per day, unlimited one-on-one coaching with grammar, pronunciation, and vocabulary, and focused assessment from the mentors for overall development. Ito guys is very much effective for the students who are admittedly weak with their speaking capacity. Elite Ops is for them. So sir, how much is Elite Ops? Okay. For the IFNG members and viewers right now, we are giving away 2,500 discount for you guys. So instead of paying 7,500 for the Elite Ops program, you're only going to be paying 2,500. Oh, sir, for IFNG members and viewers, okay? So Sir Joseph, how can I avail Elite Ops? Okay, so if you're going to be looking at the chat box right now here at, at Zoom, the link of Elite Intellect 9 is there for Elite at the Zoom chat box. And if you are on Facebook, please click the link that were sent by Genji Jimenez and Sir Kael Jello Gael. Okay, just click that link, guys, because Ma'am Tanya will be entertaining you for your inquiries for Elite Ops program. Okay, so I think we're open for 20 participants or 20 students for this batch of Elite Ops. Okay, or you may just search Elite Intellect 9.0 or contact us at WhatsApp 916 +63 916-697-2994. Okay, so again, if you are a student who you think is quite weak when it comes to your English preparation or your English skills, message Ma'am Tanya today and type IFNG Ops. Okay, IFNG Ops. That's our promo code for the viewers right now of this live at IFNG. Okay, IFNG Ops, okay, and then send a message to Ma'am Tanya on Facebook. Okay, so I'll see you guys in class very, very soon. Alrighty. Sir, saan po yung link? The link is right there, anak, sa chat box here at Zoom. And on Facebook, the link is right there on the comment section, which was sent by Miss Genji Jimenez and Sir Kyle Jello-Gael. Okay, so let's continue. Oh my gosh. Elite Ops. Maraming estudyante ang nag-iiba ang skills when it comes to Elite Ops, guys. Okay, believe me. This is one of our, one of our most exciting review programs at Elite Intellect. Okay, so if you would want to message, i-type nyo lang po. Send a message to our Facebook page, tapos ilagay mo lang, anak, IFNG Ops. Okay, and Ma'am Tanya will automatically know that you would want to inquire for the Elite Intellect Ops promo. Okay? All right, so let's begin with your speaking task 3. Okay, mga anak. So, Sir Joseph, there are 2 types of speaking part 3. Okay? Guys, the first one is what we know as the abstract part. Okay, and then we also have what we know as the two-way discussion. Oh, Sir Joseph, what is the difference between the abstract part and the two-way discussion? Okay, so it could be just an abstract part if you're going to be asked by your examiner, what do you call this, in-depth questions, or pwede rin na two-way discussion yan, okay? Your examiner might actually make it a two-way discussion. So what is the difference, Sir Joseph? Okay, so first things first, let's talk about if it is an abstract what do you call this? If your examiner asks you abstract questions, okay? So, sir, what if it is abstract? Okay, first things first, guys, your signifier for abstract is your examiners will be asking you in-depth questions, okay? The examiners will ask in-depth questions, okay? All right. Apart from that, guys, okay, you might need to give your examiner an impressive response, okay? If that is an abstract, if that is an abstract type, guys, you might be expected to give your examiner, what do you call this? You might be expected to give your examiner an impressive response. Okay. So what else? All right. Apart from that, guys, one thing that you would need to remember for the abstract questions is that there is no right or wrong way to answer this, okay? There is no right or wrong way to answer this, okay? Because some of the students, they are pretty much afraid that their answers might be, what do you call this? That your answers might be wrong, guys. On the follow-up round or on the part 3, there is no right or wrong way, okay, for you to answer it. You have to remember this is based on your own understanding of the topic, okay? This is based on your own understanding okay, about the topic. Okay, sir, what else? Okay, what else? The examiner will be focusing on how you will deliver the answer. Okay, not your idea. The examiner will be focusing on your delivery and not your idea. Okay, some students, they are pretty much afraid that what do you call this, they might actually say something that is wrong. No, they don't care about that. Okay, what the examiner cares for here is if you were able to deliver it properly on the test. You know, it's like delivering a baby. Okay, what else? Okay, if the question is difficult, guys, please do not panic. Okay, if the question is difficult, if the question is difficult, do not panic. The worst thing that you could do here on the part 3, guys, is for you to panic, okay? You also have to remember that the speaking part 3, guys, is your last impression. Okay? This is your last impression. So being it is your last impression, you have to do well, okay? If the task 1 is your first impression, the part 3 is your last impression to your examiner. So in this case, you have to do well. Okay, mga anak? Because kapag ka nagmumuni-muni na yung examiner, when the examiner is trying to remember your performance before they give you their verdict of their grading, this usually is the thing that they remember. Okay, the part three. This is highly remember. This is highly memorable for them. So you would need to be impressive here on the part three, but without pressuring yourself too much. Okay, so what else, Sir Joseph? What else do you want me to know for the part three? Okay, guys. Here's what the students usually ask me for the part three. Okay, Sir Joseph, what if I do not have an idea? Okay, what if you do not have an idea about the question? Okay, so three things, okay? First things first, what I would want you to remember, guys, is letter A. It is impossible not to have an idea about the topics because the topics are general, okay? Impossible not to have an idea about the topic. Okay, about the topics. Because guys, you have to remember the context of the questions are general, okay? Not specialized. It's not rocket science. They're not going to be asking you to say, what do you call this, to say details about how carbon transforms rock into a diamond. Yung mga ganyan, yung mga bagay na specialized, hindi kayo matatanong yan. You will not be asked that question on the exam. Okay? What else, guys? Okay? If you do not have an idea, really, okay, you can actually say that you have limited idea about the topic. Okay? Say that you have limited, say that you love me, charing. Okay? You have limited idea about the topic. About the topic, but, okay, you still talk about it, basing it on your own understanding. Okay? But you would still need to talk about the topic, but talk about the topic basing it on your own understanding. Okay? So let's say you don't have an idea about globalization. Okay? Let's say you don't have a direct idea about globalization. Okay? Unfortunately, I have a limited knowledge about globalization, but if I'm going to be basing it on my own volition, I think it would be introducing products of countries to other nations, like importation and exportation could be a good part of globalization per se, because a lot of people would need to introduce their products for them to expand their horizons of their market to different types of countries, which could actually be new patrons of their given products. Okay, so look at that, di ba? Wala ka namang direct idea kung anong globalization, pero diba? You talked about your own idea, which is exportation and importation, which could actually work. It's better, okay, for you to talk that way. It's better for you to talk that way, basing it on your own idea, rather than to say, I don't have an idea about the question. Next question, please. Diba? Don't say that, okay? Don't say that on the exam. Do not say, next question, please. Okay? What else? All right. So your answers here, okay, answers here should still be 30, 40, or 1. Okay? Okay, could either be 30 seconds, 40 seconds, to 1 minute. Okay? There you go. Your answers here could be 30 seconds, 40 seconds to 1 minute. Okay? That's the length of your answers. Okay? So guys, detail more. Okay? For the part 3, you would need to detail more. Okay? Please do not say that's it. Okay? Because some students, they tend to interrupt their delivery and say that's it. Okay? Do not say that's it. Okay, now I want you to arrange your answers this way for the part 3. Okay, arrange your answers this way. Okay, when you are asked the question, I want you guys to arrange your answers this way. Okay, first things first is you're going to give your examiner your direct answer. Okay, and then after that, you're going to explain your answer. When I say explain, guys, this is briefly explain, okay? Sometimes the students tend to over-explain, like they tend to give like 5 sentences on the explanation. No, 1 sentence to 2 sentences would be enough for the explanation. And then you may actually give an example. Okay, Sir Joseph, what are the types of example that I can use here for the part 3? Okay, you may use a research or study. Okay, if you know a research or study, you may use that. Okay, a book. Okay, a country. Okay, you may also use your own experience. Experience or observation. Okay, an implementation. You may use these as an example for this one. Okay, or you may also use media references. Well, a part of media reference right now is social media. Diba? References. Okay, sir, what if I don't have ideas about the examples? Diba? Hi, Sir Clint. Ask ko lang, I recently took the exam last Saturday, no grade yet, but I'm afraid I didn't do well because the examiner kept on interrupting me. Is that a good thing or a bad thing, anak? Don't worry, okay? If the examiner kept on interrupting you on the test, it doesn't mean that the examiner does not like you, okay? The examiner just heard what they needed to hear, so it's time for them to move on to the next question, okay? Totally fine. If your examiner is interruptive, don't be afraid, guys, okay? Because yes, that's the common fear of the students on the test is that the examiners, before you even finish your statements, they would be, okay, moving on. It's fine, guys. It's okay. It's a normal thing. They do that normally on the test, okay? So it doesn't mean that they hate you or they do not like your performance. Basically, when they're interrupting you, they just heard what they needed to hear. So yeah, it's time for them to move on to the next question. Huwag kayong matakot kapag ka ganon. Okay. Okay, you're welcome, anak. Okay, is it okay po pag gawa-gawa lang yung example? Make sure it sounds plausible naman, anak, okay? Baka mamaya kasi according to the research that I have read, there are rainbows and unicorns in Uranus. Mga ganyan. So yeah, you can actually fabricate it somehow, but make sure it sounds plausible or credible somehow, okay? All right. So yeah, when you are given a question on the part 3, you may arrange your answers like this, okay? Give your direct answer first, and then you briefly explain that, and then you give an example. So, sir, how many sentences would that be? Okay, so for the number of sentences, maybe your direct answer is 1 sentence. Okay. All right, and then your explanation, it could be 1 to 2 sentences. And then your example could be 1 sentence. Okay, look at that, right? Okay, so you may actually expand it this way. So total of 3 to 4 sentences. Okay, guys, when you are on the speaking also, please remember, do not speak fast. Okay, wag masyadong mabilis. Fluency does not mean fast. Okay, do not rush when you are answering on the Ielts exam. Ano to? Gia Lakanilaw, I miss you so much. It hurts like thrombotic thrombocytopenic purpura. Kakaloka ka talaga, Sir Manuel. Ay, nako. Yes, we miss you, Ma'am Gladys. Muwi ka na nga ng Pilipinas, Ma'am Gladys. Magkape na tayo ulit. Okay. All right. So look at that. Okay. When you are giving an answer, it could be 1 sentence, 1 to 2 sentences, or 1 sentence on the example. Total of 3 to 4 sentences. Do not speak fast, guys. Okay? The normal pace on the exam would be, well, based on my observation, in our home country, they tend to implement new things for the welfare of the people. It helps them ameliorate their capacity towards gaining remuneration via livelihood programs. So you're understanding everything that the person is trying to say, right? Hindi yung, well, there are a lot of things in my country, you know, because of pala, di gamot, gamot saan mo, uri ng sakit. Di ba? Next station, Betigo Belmonte. Paparating na sa Betigo Belmonte. Okay, so be careful on the exam, guys. Okay, don't speak fast because when you're speaking fast, believe me, you will not be able to organize your thoughts. Okay, just take your time. Okay. Oo, di ba? Next station, Pureza. Paparating na sa Pureza. Ay, ang galing-galing ko kaya mag-LRT nung anong araw, 'di ba? Gawain ko kaya 'yan. Manggagaling ako sa dulo, tapos alam mo MRT galing ako ng Pasay, tapos bababa ako ng Gawing Cubao, tapos lilipat ako ng LRT line 2 kasi pupunta ako ng Katipunan. Bet na bet ko yung mga ganyan. Yung mga balyahan sa LRT. Yung pagpasok mo sa LRT at MRT pag rush hour, nasusuntok yung kidney mo o kaya yung liver mo, nagaganon nung katabi. Di ba? O kaya yung puro, pinakamasarap na sumakay kapag kagaling ng recto, syempre dadaan yan sa U-belt, di ba? Yung mga kasabay mo, puro mga taga U-belt. Di ba? Ang dami-dami nila. Papasok kang Diyosa, paglabas mo mukha ka ng mandirigma. Oo din. All right. Okay, guys. So yeah, what else, Sir Joseph? What are the things that I could do for my part 3? Okay. Another thing, guys, is that apart from arranging your answers, no, you should actually expand your answers well. Okay. Again, do not give your examiner a limited response for the part 3. Okay. Now, Sir Joseph, how can I say that that was a two-way discussion? Okay, ganito naman yan mga anak. Paano naman po kapag ginawang two-way discussion ng examiner? Okay, what if my examiner made it a two-way discussion? Okay, so first things first, guys, there are two things, okay? First is they might ask you to say something else, okay? I know that some of you have already encountered this if you have taken the Ielts exam. The examiner might ask you to say something else apart from your argument, okay? Okay. Apart from your argument. Okay, guys. I know that some of you may have experienced this before. If you have taken the exam before, the examiner said that, let's say the examiner asked you, what is an advantage with studying, with going to another country to study, right? And then you said, well, people are much more international, people are much more culturally inclined, blah, 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 blah. And then the examiner said, what else? They asked you for another advantage. And then you said another advantage. And then the examiner again said, apart from that, what else? Okay, that's a two-way discussion. The examiner is asking you to say another thing to test if you really understood the question. It doesn't mean that they don't like your response. Basically, they're just testing you if you really can relate to the question in itself and if you can deliver basing it on the question itself. Okay, so yeah, your examiner might actually say these things. Okay, what else? Okay, apart from that, okay, they could say that too. Worst thing that an examiner could say is this one. Okay, the examiner might actually say, try again. Okay, so if the examiner says try again, just give them another argument. Okay, just give them another argument. It doesn't mean that they do not like you. Okay, or yeah, the examiner could actually say, give me an example. Yung mga ganyan, no? That's why it's a two-way discussion. Is that they're testing if you really can relate to the idea of the question. It doesn't mean that they do not like you, anak, okay? Basically, they're just testing you if you can supplement the idea of the question in itself. Okay? All right. So, if this happens, I would want you to just relax, okay? Just relax on the exam and just say another thing, okay? Do not be afraid, okay? Say another idea, okay? This is actually a crack method, as we would like to call it, no? Na pinapakaba yung mga estudyante para tawag dito para magpanic kayo, okay? And when you panic, of course, you're not going to be performing well. When the examiners do this, it doesn't mean, mga anak, that they do not like you, okay? It means that they're just testing your knowledge about the question. Sir, pwede po pa-ask kay Mama D, can I ask the examiner to rephrase the question? Yes, you may. Okay, you may actually ask the examiner, guys, to rephrase the question for you, but don't do it as often. Okay? Huwag niyong gawin ng paulit-ulit, okay? I recommend my students to do it only twice on the exam. If really you cannot understand the question, then you may ask your examiner to rephrase the question. Hello guys, miss you all. IFG. Hello, Mr. M! Ang daddy nating lahat, Mr. M. Hello, how are you? Okay. Yeah, so it's okay, guys. You can ask the examiner to rephrase the question. You may also ask the examiner to repeat the question. Totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But do not overdo it. Sabi nga nila, lahat ng sobra ay bawal. Di ba? Sobrang pagtatanong or sobrang pagpaparephrase naman would not be recommended on your exam. Okay? All right. Now, another type of two-way discussion, guys, is the examiner might say their idea about the topic too. Okay? All right. The examiner might say the idea about the topic, okay? Halimbawa, sabi ng examiner, well, you know what? I think that another advantage of going to another country to study is that they become independent. Okay. And then your examiner said they become independent. So what should you do when they say that idea? Because that's an awkward moment, right? You don't know how to respond to that, right? So how do you respond to that if your examiner gives their idea? Mga anak, hindi yan contour ha. Ano lang yan? Oh my gosh. Nagising ako, ganyan na talaga siya. Tsareng. Okay. If your examiner gave you their idea, what you could do is for you to supplement the idea of the examiner. Okay, of the examiner, or you may expand, okay? Basically, you just have to expand their idea, okay? So, scenario. Let's say the examiner asks you, what is an advantage when people go to another country to study? Your first answer is they become culturally exposed in a way that in other countries, there is a mix of different types of cultures from forbearance that they might encounter, which creates the idea of diversity, which they can use in the future for them to deal with different members of the society. Okay, and then the examiner said, what else? Okay, well, they also have adroitness in a way that the curriculum of different nations varies from the other ones. And sometimes there are institutions like the Ivy League universities, which gives an advanced curriculum for the students to make them erudites on that field. And then the examiner said, yeah, you may be right. I think another advantage of going to another country is the students become independent. So your response would be, indeed, in a way that they are not going to be depending with their familial support, as well as, of course, with their support group, like their family and friends when they are in another country, because they are left to fend on their own, which is practically quite well, in a way that it develops and inculcates the idea of responsibility for the people who are learning alone in another country. Okay, so don't panic kapag ganyan ang nangyari. If it was a two-way discussion on the test, if your examiner said, what else? Try again. Okay, give an example. Okay, or if the examiner gave their idea on the question, just expand it to your best capability or capacity on the test. Okay, all right. So before we go to the next part, let's just look at these sample questions. Okay, sample questions for the part 3 that I have researched somewhere out there. Okay, I'll show this to you guys, okay? Tignan natin, okay? Kasi yung iba, they are afraid that they might not have an idea about the topic of the part 3. But believe me, guys, you will have ideas about the topic. Okay, I'll show you some. Okay, this is the practice tool that I give my students at Elite Intellect. Now I give them a compilation of questions. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at the first cluster of questions, okay? Deforestation, okay? Does your country have a lot of forests? Oh, of course, we have virgin forests in Subic, right? What threats are posed by deforestation? Of course, landslides, right? A lot of things, calamities could actually ruin and could cause erosion, right? What are the alternatives to cutting down forests? Well, of course, supplementing it with further studies that could replace lumber or wood with different types of materials like plastic or recycled materials. Okay, what can the average citizen do to help combat the situation? And of course, first, they need not to be quiet when they see illegal activities that are related to deforestation per se, illegal logging and burning of the bushes, as well as, of course, burning off coal for burning off the trees for them to make it a charcoal for them to sell it in different parts of the town. They could actually report that to the authorities for them to halt this atrocious act. Okay, what will be the future of the Earth's forest look like? I don't know because I'm not from the future. Charing lang. No, well, unfortunately, it's already happening nowadays that forests are no longer taken care of as compared to before. There are a lot of different Naloka kayo sa ano? I don't know. I'm not from the future. There are a lot of factors that could extirpate the natural resources like the forest that we have. And unfortunately, different types of governments are not doing anything for them to halt this. Okay? What else? Books. What genres are popular in your country? Oh, in the Philippines, romantic novels, as well as, of course, fantasy or fictional genres are pretty much ubiquitous, diba? Okay, how does the film industry impact booksellers in your country? It could help them, or it could help them significantly, or it could actually affect them because the film industry could actually purchase the book and transform it into a movie, okay, for the people to enjoy on the silver screen. Whereas for some, they tend to compete with the book. So the sellers are affected significantly in a way that the people would just rather watch the film rather than to read books because it's more comfortable or convenient for them. Okay, how can people be encouraged to read more? Give them a book first because people do not read because they're too focused with their mobile devices. So we should actually try giving books to the people, like the children per se. They are pretty much focused on their tablets and their mobile devices at the moment. So what we could do is we could give them books for them to enjoy, which would be visually appealing for them, as well as, of course, books with topics with which they could actually correlate to. Okay. Are there any drawbacks to reading too often? Well, there are effects. Diba? There are effects with the eyesight of the people. Charing. Love the answers. Very Catriona. Ano ka ba naman, anak? Okay. um, are there any drawbacks to reading books? Well, basically, sometimes when people read too much, they tend to wonder too much. Reading too much paves way for curiosity, and curiosity is either good or bad. But sometimes curiosity went too much could be atrocious for the people. They tend to explore different avenues that are not meant for them, or that are not meant for them to explore in that sense, and it could cause them harm rather than good. Okay. Ano pa? What are the differences between reading a real book and an online one? Masakit sa mata yung online one. Okay. Meetings. Ooh. Are meetings common for most businesses in your country? Of course, because this is a way for them to generate ideas and to collaborate with the members of the team, which is pretty much imperative given that a company should be run by an entire team, not just the management team. Okay, it is consisted of the leaders, the managers, as well as, of course, the members. And meetings are opportunities for them to get their point across, for them to be heard, and for them to collaborate for the betterment of the company in itself. Okay, curiosity kills the cat, di ba? Sir, sana ganyan kabilis mag-generate ng sagot. Alam nyo, anak, nakikita nyo, hindi ako, humihiwalay ako sa katawan ko pag sumasagot ako. Basically, what I'm doing is while the person is asking the question, I am already analyzing it. Okay, I'm already analyzing the first part of the question and the second part, and then I am generating ideas so that I could deliver it. And remember to organize it in your head, because if it's not organized, then of course there might be a problem with the flow of your delivery. Okay? So I do find this question weird, okay? Are there cultural differences in terms of meeting in different parts of your country? Well, cultural differences, I cannot see it. or it's not apparent for me, but preferences or cultural preferences could be something that is quite noticeable with meetings in many parts of my nation, in a way that a lot of different types of meetings are held on time because of the cultural preference when it comes to being punctual. Well, some of the meetings have appropriate dress codes because of the different types of tradition that entails dressing up properly when people go to meetings. So instead of a cultural difference, maybe it is the preferences of the people who are conducting the meeting in itself. Okay. I think Catriona enrolled in the Elite Ops program. Yes. Oo. Isa siya sa mga naging estudyante natin. Kaya nung tinanong siya, I am pro it for medical use but not for recreational. Because what if people were to argue, what about alcohol and cigarettes? Well, everything is good, but in moderation. Thank you. Okay. Hi, sir. Is it correct to say from my perspective or in my perspective? Okay. From my perspective is the same as from my point of view. Okay. So you can say from my perspective. Okay. Pero kung minsan pa nagmamadali ang tao, they tend to say in my perspective. Okay. Nga, sabi ni Genji. Okay. Ate Genji, ganyan ka rin sumagot, no? Ikaw din, Sir Manuel, tigilan mo ako. Okay. Last cluster, guys. Let's take a look at this one. Do you think employers are responsible for training their employees? Of course. Who else would be? Who else would be held accountable for that? It would be the employers who would be generating training and ideas for the people because they will be the ones who will have expectations for the job performance of their employees. If they're going to be depending into other people, then of course they might not meet that particular standards that the employers might actually expect for their job description. Okay. How important is training in different industries? Well, quite important in a way that it's going to be giving the people their sense of responsibility and the limit and scopes of their practices. Should companies focus more on training for older, should companies focus more on training for older or younger employees? Well, both. Because older employees could actually mentor or set as tutelage or give tutelage to the younger individuals, whereas the young ones are the workforce per se. They're stronger, more agile as compared to those who are elders. So in a way, they're going to be working well together because the elder ones are going to be guiding, whereas the youngsters are going to be following and doing the action themselves because they are pretty much more stronger. Okay. Is it common for people in your country to pursue higher education later in life? Yes, because higher education is highly connected to the social standing of a person. Here in the Philippines, when people think that a person has had advanced education or higher education like master's degree or PhD, they tend to think that the person is either smart or they came from an affluent member of this, or they came from an affluent family of the society. So it is culturally viewed since the time of our forebears for people to continue education, for them to set the standards higher, not just for the expectations of their families, but for the people around them. Okay. Do companies often help fund this training? Yes, indeed. Because who else would be, again, as I have mentioned earlier, who else would be accountable for that? If the companies would require trainings and expectations, set expectations for their employees, then they should be the one who would be giving the remuneration or funding for the employees to go to the particular respective trainings that they expect. That is the end of section 4. You now have half a minute to check your work. That is the end of your listening test. You now have half a minute to slap your seatmate. Charing! Okay. Oh, na-excite ako for next week. Yeah, guys, by the way, next week I will be the test taker, okay? Sir Manuel will be pretending to be my examiner, okay? That's on Friday, 9 p.m. PHT. Sir Manuel will be pretending to be my examiner here live on Facebook and at Zoom, okay? And then I will be the test taker, okay? I will show you how Mama handles questions on the exam, and I hope I do well on that, okay? And of course, after that, maybe we're going to be having another discussion with compartmentalizing. Okay? All right. So thank you, sir. Last question po. Is it okay to say like for example or like for instance? And also, you can just say for example, anak, or for instance. Thank you so much, Leia. Okay, guys. So, all right. All right. So before we end our class for tonight, don't leave yet. I still have the most important message for tonight. Do it all for his glory. Okay. So Whether you eat or drink or whatever you do all for the glory of God. I have students asking me, Sir Joseph, why is it every time you are happy? Why are you always energetic on the discussions? Why are you always very much energetic and filled with positivity? It's because of this verse. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 31 is that I do it all for the glory of God, not for myself. Okay. Every time that I do discussions, I pretend that the Lord is watching me, and every time that I make discussions, I pretend that the Lord is watching me, and I try to make him laugh. Okay, or I try to make him proud of me. Okay, to glorify his name through my work. Okay, so guys, let's just pray for each and everyone who attended our session for tonight. Heavenly Father, would like to thank the Lord God for another opportunity to glorify your name and to spread your word here at IFNG, as well as, of course, to teach the students on their preparation for the Ielts test. My Father, thank you so much for this productive discussion and for this blessed discussion. Lord, hear the will of the hearts of the students who are preparing. Be with them throughout their preparation, because they need you. They need you to guide them towards their laurels and their evergreen state. Father, I pray for the admins of IFNG. Bless them, Father, because these are the people with the kindest heart who are helping the students with their preparation. And Lord, thank you so much for the students whom you have guided towards the path of Elite Intellect 9. This is our prayer in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, amen, everyone. Okay, guys. Can I get an amen up in here? All right, guys. So, guys, by the way, for those of you who would want to inquire for our Elite Ops program, which has 2,500 discount for exclusive viewers of IFNG, please send a message to our Facebook page. The link of the Facebook page can be seen on our Zoom meeting and on Facebook, guys. Okay, so I'll see you next week. Kakatayan ako ni Sir Manuel next week, 9 p.m. PHT. I will be pretending to be the examinee, and Sir Manuel will be the examiner. If you would want to be a part of our Elite Ops program, send a message to our Facebook page right now or on our WhatsApp and just type Elite Ops, okay? IFNG Ops. That is our promo code for this live session, okay? So guys, in behalf of the staff of Elite Intellect 9, and of course, in behalf of all the people behind this very successful discussion for tonight, this is your Mama Dragon sending my love to you from the Philippines. I'll see you guys again next Friday, 9 p.m. PHT here at IFNG. Mr. Manuel, back to you.
Hello. Thank you so much. That was such a fun-filled discussion. And I hope everybody has learned so much from you and your discussions, and hopefully the jokes as well.
Yes.
Ruba, ano ba?
Ano ba?
Ayun na pala.
Ganyan
Ma'am
talaga.
Genji, hi. Thank you din po, Ma'am Genji. Thank you so much. Arigato gozaimasu. Feeling dank. Diba? Iba't ibang
Ate
language.
Kench.
All right. Bye, everybody. See you again next week. Kakatayin ko daw si Sir. Ano kaya hiwa? Filet or ground beef? I don't know. Let's see.
Pambopis.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys. See you next week.